Welcome to the Top 10 Gardener with Master Gardener Ken Lain. Gardening can be challenging, but with Ken's tips, tricks, and top 10 advice, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, welcome your garden host, Ken Lain.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And we are into the season. It is full on bloom everywhere, all elevations. So before it was the Verde, the Sedonas, Camp Verdes, Cottonwood, those areas, Jerome, they'd all bloom. They were starting to bloom. You all are always about, a week, 10 days ahead of us. On the other side of the hill, I would say Kirkland, Baghdad, Skull Valley, you folks, Hillside, you're about a week to 10 days. I know it's lower elevation, but we're all up in the mountains. It comes down to not elevation. It comes down to really your exposure. And so the Verde, you've got the east facing, you get the sun before the folks on the other side of the hill. They're a little bit cooler. There is a little bit of elevation change. I mean, Groom Creek. Okay, you all are at well above 6,000 feet. Highland Pines, all the way, Seligman, Ashford, Williams, they're all sort of the same. So they might be a week to 10 days behind us, but it's all here. This storm, it warmed up after that storm last weekend, and boy, it has taken off. And so what's in bloom now, you're seeing forsythia, purple leaf plums, the wild cherries, flowering quince, the winter blooming jasmines, and you're seeing your hedges starting to leaf out. The roses are starting to go. Things are starting to actually grow. And you're seeing this actively happen by the day at this point. This is what spring's all about. This is why we love our 4-season climates. This is an opportunity right now. If you need privacy, you've got a new hot tub. Your neighbors, they just moved in, bought that house next to you, and they're harder to get along with, or they're trashy, or that contractor's got that pile of stuff back there that he's proud of, but it's ugly as can be. You just want to hide it. You don't want to put a fence. You want a living green fence. Now's the time to trim back those hedges that were planted maybe last year or older. You trim them back now, fertilize them, and they will take off a new growth. This is perfect timing so that you don't have this butchered, cut back stems coming up through the middle of the shrubs. Now's your time to cut them back, fertilize them so you can have this new growth hide all of that hedging you've been doing. If you need a new a privacy screen of some sort, now's the time to plant them. This is your best time to plant them. I mean, can't emphasize that enough. I want to share a couple things. I thought of three kinds of trees, 3 kinds of native kind of plants, and 3 kinds of shrubs that are the perfect local plants. No matter your elevation, they're going to grow in all those cities I just mentioned, all those communities. They are all going to grow in any one of our places. Anywhere in the central part of Arizona, they're going to grow and thrive and grow fast. So, and then I'll tell you how to space them. And if you missed it, or you're on the road, you're driving, you can't take notes, you go, what did he say? If this is the podcast piece, I'm going to put the notes to this. I wrote a book called Privacy in the Secret Garden. I'm going to put the link to that free. You download it, read it at your leisure. It's got all the lists and all the math, how to space them, how to plant them, how to water them, how to get the most out of them, when to prune them, what I just mentioned. That'll be in the footnotes at the bottom. Download it. If not, you go to our website, hit the Learn button at the very top. Learn. Anytime we teach a class, we post those handouts up there, and the books are there. It's right front and center. You can't miss it. If you're looking, you can just go privacy screens. It'll be right there. But here's the 3 trees, 3 natives and 3 shrubs. And let's start with shrubs. I think the 3 that are most popular. The number 1 seller, redtipphotinia. The new growth comes out red, and then it turns into this 12 by 12 by 12 big evergreen plant. Big leaves, not a needle. It's got a leaf to it. We call them broadleaf evergreens. And so that's very fast growing. It's good. It's number 1 seller. I don't know that I like it as much for myself. I don't have one of those in my yard. What I use is cotoneaster, or the way you spell it, cotoneaster. There's one that's really big, very fast. The animals just leave alone. Deer don't bother it. Doesn't get disease, doesn't get bugs like the redtipphotinia does. But red clusterberry cotoneaster, that one is evergreen. Again, it's a broad leaf evergreen. Has a leaf, not a needle. Grows about 10 by 10 by 10. Loves to be hedged. And the flowers will come out in just a few days. You get clusters of flowers that turn into clusters of red berries, which you still see some of those from last winter. It holds those berries all through autumn and winter, and then just comes back and reblooms and does it again. I like it because it's just less care. And it's related to our native cotoneaster that grows wild here, but it's a great shrub. And then the one I use as well is L.A. agonus, or silverberry. That's truly the native one. We sell both. There's truly the native one. It's got kind of blue foliage with a white leaf in the back. Gets up about 8 by 8 by 8. So it's substantial. The beauty with that one is once it gets up to size, you never have to water or care for it again. Just maybe give it a haircut. That's it. There's one that's related to that. It's also a silverberry. It's called gilded edge silverberry. We took the same native and we put a gold edge around it. So now it's variegated. It looks really good with those mocha colored rocks, that darker landscapes that's kind of popular right now. It shines, it pops better. Again, native. It adapts. Once it gets up to size, you never have to water or care for it again. It's great. There's 3 shrubs. 3 kind of native-y looking, upper kind of juniper looking things. I in my front yard, I use juniper. There's nothing tougher. I mean, junipers are you can't kill them. Animals don't eat them. Bugs don't get on them. They just adapt. They love growing here. We have huge forest of junipers. Now, you're having allergies right now because the native male junipers are pollinating the planet right now. I can feel my eyes itching right now, sneezing, coughing, just all those allergy things. For the love of gardening, if you're going to think about a juniper hedge, don't plant a male juniper. The females don't have the pollen. They just have the berries. They're cute as can be. They're voluptuous. They got the shape. They got the color. I mean, they got it going on. Those girls, they can fill in and look good and no allergies. The guys are the ones that cause all that yellow tinge, and they have this dust everywhere. So we only sell females here at Waters Garden Center. Look for females. We don't start them by seed, because if you start plants by seed, you get half of them will be males, half will be females. We go by cuttings. So now we get an exact copy of the perfect juniper that's a female. We can control all that. And so I personally use Spartan juniper. I'm up in the chaparral up above the high school here in town, and it's that chaparral, manzanitas and junipers and ceanothus, these native scrub oak areas. I've got a lot of blue. I needed some green. And so that one actually took off, and it looks fantastic with just the green. I've got a green hedge. Now, junipers, you get bigger size. So they'll go up easily 10, 15 foot tall. There's some that get bigger, but I like that. I needed about 15 feet in my front yard to create this courtyard where the fountains are, the birds are going around, butterflies. I needed some, and I staggered them, zigzagged them across. And so I used Spartan juniper. If you like more silver blue, the same exact model of that is Wichita blue juniper. It does very well too. Same. So again, about 15 feet tall, about 8 feet wide, thick as can be. It doesn't have a leaf. It's got a needle now. Now we're talking conifers. Conifers have needles. And so, but it fills in really fast, never gets any issues. So easy to grow. Anyone can grow them. It's a great choice. And then probably, what else could I go there? You got your Californians love your cypress. So cypress, I would say one that's probably better than the Italian cypress would be the Arizona cypress. That's the native one. Now this is a fast growing, goes up to about 25 feet by 12 foot wide. It's native, but again, has that juniper kind of look. It doesn't put a berry on like a juniper. It puts out a little tiny pine cone, the size of a golf ball. Then your 3 trees, Deodar cedar. It's a fast growing. It's a monster. It gets huge. It takes over entire yards. Small children, dogs have been lost in Deodar cedar. Be careful. Don't plant it right next to the driveway. It'll be too close. It'll take over. It just gets too big. But one that's sort of like it, Colorado spruce. Now you wouldn't think that, but it's, perfect Christmas tree shape. Gets up, 50 feet by 15 feet wide. It's beautiful. And then pine trees, native pine trees, ponderosas, not so much for juniper for privacy because it's a trunk, but Austrian pine, Scotch pine, Deodar pine, pinyon pine. The pine trees, they grow thick, central leader. God, they're just a great choice. So you got 3 shrubs, 3 native looking things, and then 3 trees that are great at privacy screens. Into this segment, be right back with more after this. Water's garden companion plants for March are Oklahoma redbud, mountain heaths, rosemary creeper, Prescott pansies, and fanciful forsythia.
Oklahoma redbud grows to just 16 feet tall. This local native is super easy to grow.
Vibrant red flowers cloak the branches of early spring.
Lush's heart-shaped leaves emerge with a soft pink tinge that matures to a vibrant green.
Shop the brightest blooming trees in-store or online at watersgardencenter.com in Prescott.
You're listening to Garden Master Ken Lain, owner of Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Join his daily podcast for timely garden advice seasonally right for the gardens. Ken can be found throughout the week at Waters Garden Center in Prescott or through his website at top10gardener.com.